All right, here we go. In three, two, one. Jordan's mom and I are starting a book club, and Jordan's not invited. Welcome to the 1 Hour, One Brain Cell podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to 1 Hour, One Brain Cell. I am joined this week by my co-host Jordan, who did not have to learn how to do kickflips and or backflips or cartwheels in the making process of this recording.
I did not, and I will not be learning. Thank you very much. I am clumsy enough as it is. And I'm joined this week by the newest Lumon employee, Rich F.
Rich F, yes.
I did a little research.
I wonder what my innie would be like.
I don't know.
I wonder if he'd be an...
You're evil.
That's generally kind of the case where like your innie and outie are two completely different type of people.
Yeah, it's like a split situation. I haven't seen the show, so I'm gonna let you talk about it before I dig myself in this hole. But
yeah, no,
the book club thing is real though. The book club thing is real.
It's true. We're already all over the place, so I don't even know where to start. But yeah, your innie and outie are usually two different like types, and so I wouldn't 100% like. I think my innie would be an a-hole.
All right.
We'll get to that in a little bit on this episode. We have a lot to talk about. We have some TV to talk about, some music to talk about, an anniversary to get into. We have an update of a story we brought you earlier on the show to talk about. And we have my latest obsession to talk about. Oh, and I'm going to bring back the One Brain Cell Award as well. We haven't done that in a while. I'm going to bring that back because I had a couple episodes in the past like week or so.
Wow.
Related to the making of my coffee that I will get into. So, but it did not happen today. Actually, the coffee came out good today. So that's all right. We're winning.
Yep.
Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Follow us at OHOBC Pod on all the Instagram channels that you can find your internets, and all the shenanigans will be there, including, if you followed us on the Twitter, you will see that once again, for whatever reason, we speak everything into existence on this show. I don't know what kind of voodoo magic or Etsy witch we're getting into, but once again, we called it because a couple weeks ago, prior to the release of her latest album, Lucy Dacus was like asking, "Hey, I need to do a cover song for BBC. What should I do?" And I replied from the brand account. I said, "You should do Abracadabra by Lady Gaga."
Mm-hmm.
And turns out 2 weeks later, what song does she do?
Abracadabra by Lady Gaga. A beautiful version. It kind of sounds
great.
Like you're being haunted, like in a gothic castle. Like Lucy Dacus is like floating down the hallway at you singing this. Like it was wonderful.
It was incredible. Great job, Lucy, as expected. We'll get into Lucy's album here in a minute too, but anyway, so yeah, that's why you should follow us, because we predict the future like all the time on this show. Remember last summer where like there was like summer and fall where I swear I did this like on like 5 straight occasions where I said something and it came true.
I remember that streak that we had, that little manifestation streak. Like, we should get back to that because I need Mayhem Ball tickets. So that's going to happen, right? That's going to happen for us.
Yeah. Everything we say, it's like, we're like the Simpsons, you know, like how the Simpsons from the 90s, they would put stuff out there and they would eventually come true. That's what we're going to do. So by the time you see,
some of those are insane.
Yeah. So by the time you see this on Friday, Jordan will have received Mayhem Ball tickets. Yeah. Mayhem Ball tickets.
Man. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Be the most popular event of the summer. Of which like she's not going to very many cities. She's kind of doing like what 21 Pilots did for Takeover Tour, and she's kind of doing residencies in like what
Mhm.
I don't know what 10
I
cities
feel
or
like
something.
this is like a pre-tour. This certainly can't be the whole thing, and they're also just like arenas. Like she could
Yeah.
do much larger venues than this.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
feel like this just kind of came together all of a sudden, and we're trying to like ride the wave of current popularity, and then maybe later she'll go back out and do a bigger tour. Because even I remember like Born This Way Ball, which was my first concert, hand to God, on God, as Mother Hahn's first concert, and that was crazy. It was sold out, and I think it was a bigger arena than a lot of them that she's playing in the U.S. And that was I don't know how many years ago, like
Right.
12.
Right.
Oh,
So we'll manifest that
mhm.
on the show and keep up with that. All right. Let's see. Where should we start? We just mentioned Lucy. Let's start off with that, shall we?
Yeah,
Let's get into let's get into Lucy Dacus territory. I came
he's
prepared with props
got
today on the
props.
show.
Yep, lovely, lovely vinyl. What's the colorway on this? It's like Greek marble or something.
Yeah, this is the Target exclusive. It's gonna be kind of tough to tell, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
on in this camera. But yeah, it's like a marbly, it's like a silvery gray marble, and it's really
Mm-hmm.
cool. And it's a Target exclusive. So
All right. Comes with a poster if you're a
yeah,
poster collector.
it does. I was surprised about that. I was like, oh dang, big ass Lucy poster, cool.
Right on. Free decor for your dorm rooms and your house rooms and your whatever.
Exactly. So, yep, I purchased that, and I actually haven't spun it yet. It's still in the. I haven't spun it yet. I've been listening in the car. But what do you make? Have you what was your okay, I'll ask you this way and I'll answer back.
Mhm.
What how did you listen to it for the first time?
I
And when?
always listen to
Where?
an album the first time start to finish cuz and I think we've talked about this like if the artist constructs their track list in a certain way, it's probably because they believe it should be listened to that way, so I always do that first. And then you can go back and visit like tracks you liked or tracks that you need a second look at or, something like that and see if they grow on you or, see if your favorites change or whatever it may be. Um, I know you said you liked the second half, the B side,
Yes.
better than the A side. Is that still the case?
That is still the case, 100%.
Mhm.
Yeah, cuz I listened to this for the first time. So, it obviously here on the West Coast it came out at like 9 p.m. Here in Arizona. And sometimes, like depending on the album, I will listen to it straight up 9 p.m. and sometimes I won't. This time, I waited until the next day on Friday to listen to it. And so the first time I listened to this album is Lucy did like a live Q&A, like listen along session. And that's how I listened to it. So I listened to it for the first time, like with Lucy,
That's
and
cool.
she would like go in between songs she would come on like kind of like either talk about the previous song or like take questions about it, and that was like kind of a cool way to like listen to the album and get her takes on how on these songs and the process and making them and so that was a cool way to listen to it. And there were like a few nuggets that came out of that, one of which my favorite being that she basically told off one of the review sites and was like, and she she was like, because one of the review sites was talking about one of the songs, and it was I want to Modigliani, yeah,
I don't
the
know.
one that's
Neither of
named
us
after
are
the dang
smart enough for that.
yeah, one of the song that's named after the dang painter. This is a song that Lucy said was written essentially about Phoebe Bridgers and having Phoebe Bridgers in mind. And so this review site in its review was like, "Oh, it's talking about Julian Baker," and Lucy was like, "No, that's not the case," and basically told this particular organization off. And that was probably my favorite part of that. And also she was like listening to Limerence, which is a song that like she said like she has a hard time listening to.
Mhm.
She basically came on and was like, first thing she said was like, I can't remember the exact thing she said, but it was like, I hate that fucking song.
The first time I heard that song, I was very caught off guard. I was like,
Yeah.
oh boy,
Mm-hmm.
this is lethal. This is a lethal one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
There's a
yeah, so
couple
like,
on that record that are like heavy hitters.
yeah. And that's part of the reason that's part of the reason why I really enjoyed this record. I sent you the review from, I think it was Pitchfork, and they gave it like a six and
Pitchfork
a
doesn't
half
know what they're doing.
like a
Pitchfork
six
doesn't
and a
know what they're
half or something. I was like, dude, do these people even like the music? Do they even
doing.
like
Mm-mm.
doing this? Because apparently they don't. I don't
No,
understand. I
I
don't get
don't
it.
think they like music. I think they like bashing on music. Because if they
That I
liked
think, yeah,
music, they would get more of these, um, like second circle, like out of the pop nugget. They would give more of those albums better ratings, but they don't.
yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, and and again, I think this album is like a really great evolution for Lucy too, because I was listening to a little bit of like home video, I think, over the weekend,
Mhm.
and her previous records are very electric guitar heavy in their production.
Mhm.
Whereas in this record, that is not the case, and I feel like there's a lot more instrumentation happening. I don't even know if that's a word, but there's a lot more going on sonically than on her previous records. And so it's a great evolution for Lucy as an artist. And that's part of what has like drawn me into this record more so than some of her old stuff is
Yeah.
exactly that reason.
There's a couple that came off of, I was trying to remember the title. I had to look it up real quick. No Burden, which is like her
Mm-hmm.
first record that had sonically sort of this pattern, but you're right. Then when it went through Historian and then it went through home video, the sound changed. And even here it changed. There's a couple here that like I was surprised sonically about the angle that she took, because it's something we haven't ever heard from her
Mm-hmm.
before. If it was like really synth heavy or very like atmospheric or anything like that, where it was like leaning more on the instrumental, to your point, that like it's a
Mm-hmm.
direction we haven't seen before, but it really works.
It
I
does.
love it.
And then to your point about, the track list and sequencing, Lucy's talked a lot about in this album cycle how like she was very deliberate in how she sequenced this particular album, and so much so that it really does kind of like tell a story, which was really interesting. And I don't know if you saw her interview that she did with CBS, but she was showing off Anthony Mason with CBS her like notebook essentially with all the song lyrics in there, and she showed him this like graphic that she made, and it was like a chart showing how she went about like deciding where to put what song in the order on the record. And that was such a really cool like look into the process. And that's one of the cool things about this record is it's kind of like it does tell a story. It's like it's a record about like being in love, then falling out of love, then falling back in love again, and then back into being in love again, or back about being in love again. And I thought that was really interesting, and that's part of the reason why I think maybe the second half is a little bit better. And even Lucy said this too. Like she even tweeted this out
She
that side B is
tweeted,
better
she's
than
like, the
side.
second half is better than the first. Crazy to hear
Yeah.
that from the artist, but I feel like it's true. There's a certain point where it sort of hits its stride, and then
Mm-hmm.
it really flows and makes sense from
Yeah.
that back half of the album forward.
Like I love like Forever is a feeling. The title track is great. We've already heard Best Guess, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Bullseye with Hosier is like perfect.
Bullseye is so good.
And it is like even better with the live version that Lucy and Hosier did at the in Ireland at like one of the, at the art one of
it
the
was like a gallery or
museum.
something, like a
Yeah,
national museum.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was that. Yeah, that was incredibly cool. I thought it was funny that Lucy was like, "Yeah, Hosier gave me some of his honey from his bees."
He's such an interesting man. I love him. All he wants to do is just go play in the weeds and write music and have bees. It's beautiful. That's what we should all aspire to.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree. And then like I was surprised, like we read about Most Wanted Man beforehand, and I was surprised at how much of a banger Most Wanted Man is. Like I kind of expected it to be maybe a little bit more like of a slower tempo song, and it's not. It's a banger. It's great. It's one of my
Hmm.
favorite songs on the entire record.
Yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting, but I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
My one I picked out from the first half of the album was Big Deal. I really like that one for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's something about it that just like kind of it sticks.
I agree. I like Big Deal as well. She did that on the as part of her CBS set too, which
Hmm.
so yeah, I like Big Deal. Um, I really like Talk. Talk was like the one that she put out like right before the record came out, so
Hmm.
that's a good
I feel
one
like that's
too.
that point. Like from that point forward, it
Mm-hmm.
has a really great flow to it.
Yeah,
I think so. That's what I was trying to like find on the track list. I'm like, I think it's there. I think it's really that
I
like 6 track midway point where it's like,
yeah,
yep, this makes sense narratively going forward.
I agree. I agree. And then Lost Time is great as well. I really like that song too. So like, it's hard to like pick favorites, obviously, but I mean, I think the song that I'm probably gonna come back to the most is probably Best Guess. I think
Yeah.
is maybe the song for me that I'd probably come back to the most on the record. That and probably Bullseye, I think, are the two for me.
Hmm. I would say both of those for sure. And then you throw in Big Deal, Most Wanted Man. I like Modigliani. I think I'm not sure how you say it. I apologize if I'm butchering that. If we're really butchering that, but we're not smart.
Yeah.
We're not smart.
Um, we also do get some backing vocals from JB and Phoebe on the record, which is cool on Forever Is a Feeling and Most Wanted Man. So it's nice to get a
Hmm.
little Boy Genius reunion on the record.
Informally, yeah.
Informally, yeah, exactly. Shout out to Barty Strange was a producer on a lot of the songs in this album too, which is really cool. So I'm gonna see Bartiz live here in a few weeks, so that should be exciting. I think we talked about that previously on the show. So
I think the last time you told me no, you might have told me you had got tickets, but you told me you were really hoping to get tickets because
yeah,
it's a small venue.
yep, yeah. I don't know if
Yeah.
they've sold out yet or not, but I'm assuming they will because it's again Crescent Ballroom's like 500 capacity or something, really
Mhm.
small. So excited for that. So there you go. That's our dive into Forever Is a Feeling by Lucy Dacus, which debuted at #1 on the sales charts, if I'm not mistaken.
As it absolutely should. May we all be so lucky to have a friend that considers us so poetically as Lucy Dacus considers her friends and family.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? We have more music to talk about coming up in a couple weeks because we have Send a Prayer My Way from JB and Torres coming out in a couple weeks too. So I'm excited
We're
for that
busy.
one.
We're busy. Booked and busy.
Lot of music coming out. I really
Good.
liked they put out Dirt last
Hmm.
week. Great song. So good.
Very good. Yeah. All of the singles so far have been hitters.
I agree. I agree. All right, we can move on now to other stuff. All right, what else do we have here? Oh, speaking of which, while we're still on this topic, happy 2-year anniversary to The Record by Boy Genius,
Yay,
of
the
course.
record. Happy birthday, the record. We love you.
I can't believe it's
Still
been
so
two
good.
years. Yes.
No, that's insane. Because that means it's been 2 years since Boys Trip.
Yeah.
Oh, oh God, we're old. Oh God. The passing of time. Oh God. Yeah. Bad. All bad. Oof. All bad.
That's funny. I was listening to a few songs on there again. I was like, God damn, these songs are bangers. Like they still are. Oh, like
Hmm.
Satanist. Like I was thinking about. I have coming up in June. We have Cats, or at least I have Cat's bachelorette party coming up, and I was like, I put in the group chat with amongst the rest of the bridesmaid group. I was like, hey, are we gonna do? We're doing karaoke, right?
Hell yeah, we're doing karaoke. Yeah, that sounds great. What are you singing? What's your choice?
I don't know yet, but I was thinking about
Night
like
shift.
night shift.
Night Shift by Lucy Dacus. You heard it here first.
Oh
And I
man,
will provide you video of this. Like,
seven set.
I got to get somebody in that group chat to send me the damn video if this happens.
Dude, that's also a banger. That'd be great. That'd be great. No, but I was thinking about how great it would be to be like, I think like a Satanist or $20, especially Satanist. Like Satanist doing a karaoke to Satanist would be sick as hell. And everybody would be
Mhm.
looking at me like, what are you doing? Nobody knows what this song is. I was like, you know what? Screw you. I like this song.
You could do
Okay.
$20, but you got to do the Phoebe Bridgers scream. You have to really go for it.
Everybody would immediately leave the bar.
Good. If they leave, it wasn't for them in the first place anyway.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
that
that's
sounds
my
like fun.
so yeah, that's coming up. So we'll see. I also Corey and I are 100% going to do All Too Well 10 minute, I think.
Good. Good. Excellent.
If not that, then definitely Exile, which is an actual duet.
Exile. Oh God. Exile, but switch the parts.
Switch the parts.
Well, you and I do shallow, but we switch the parts.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, just do the same thing. Make Corey be Bon Iver.
We'll make that work. Updates to
All right.
follow. Updates
All
to
right.
follow.
Perfect. Video to follow. Got it.
All right. Let's dive into our TV corner this week. Lots of TV. Usually we do the movies, but we're gonna do TV for now. Okay, so both of us. The idea being, we didn't have time to get into this last week, but we're gonna do it now. Which is, Jordan has been watching a television program, and she's going to convince me to watch it, which I think I eventually will. And then I'm going to convince Jordan to watch Severance. And then we're also going to talk about The Studio, which stars Catherine Hahn, of course. So Catherine Hahn's in it, so of course we're going to watch.
Of course we're watching. Easy
So,
sell.
so, so let's begin with Hacks. You've been watching Hacks lately.
I've been finishing Hacks. I finished. We're done. We're caught up.
That's ridiculous. It's
Yeah,
insane.
and you know this, and anybody that's listened to this for a while knows this about me. I am absolute butt at finishing television shows. Absolute garbage, dog water, trash. Like Monday's trash on the side of the road about finishing TV shows. I can't do it. I have the attention span of a squirrel that's forgotten where they've buried their walnuts over hibernation. So now we're just digging at every tree, hoping something sticks. I can't finish TV shows. This is one that got me, and that I feel like that is an accomplishment in itself to like reel me in, who's notoriously terrible at television. They're between like half hour and 40-minute episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm coming to realize that like that's my sweet spot, because anything longer than that I really have a hard time sticking with. Like even if it's good,
Right.
I just can't like never finish The Mandalorian because those episodes are just long, and I
No,
couldn't
it's
get into
also
Game of
not as good.
Thrones because they're just long, right? I'm like, I don't, just the density, but I love shows like Parks and Rec or New Girl or something that's more like a, you know,
Mm-hmm.
situational comedy, but like bite-sized bits.
Right.
But those shows I also feel like are fine to just have on in the background and not pay attention to. This one is like, you got to pay attention. You got to focus. So
Right.
this is Hacks. I've been trying to sell my mom on it. I've been trying to sell Richie on it. I think I sold them both slightly with this very out of context clip from season 1. Um, if you've watched it and you know, it's the wax museum scene, iconic. Um, so this is it's on Max. I guess we're not calling it HBO Max anymore. There's My Age Again showing because I remember when that was a thing.
Nobody calls it Max, dude. Everybody calls it
Well,
HBO still.
I don't know. They have a new logo for it now too, and every I saw this on Twitter, but like every letter looks like it was designed by a separate person who wasn't allowed to have contact with the other two people. I was like, how did we do this? Anyway, I'm getting off topic, but it's called Hacks. It's got 3 seasons right now, and I think every season has 9 episodes. The first one might have 8, so it's not super dense. And the new season comes out April 10th, so just a little over a week after we release this, right? Yeah.
Oh, so I got time to catch up. I got plenty of time to
Right.
catch
Yeah,
up.
you definitely have time because you have like at most 27 episodes to get through, and they're like a half hour. You'll buzz through it, especially like season 1. So, the main dynamic is that it's her name is Ava, and she's a writer from Los Angeles, and she's very like she's like mid-20s, but she's like very last straw, last gig, like desperate for something. And her manager gets her this interview for a writing deal with a Las Vegas comedian who's kind of like maybe also on the outs. Like she's pretty much the stereotype of every old comedy legend in Vegas. It's like been doing this for 30 years and it's the same show, and people are getting tired of it and moving on, so she needs something new. So her manager, or I think it's her friend, but her manager is Ava's friend, and he smashes them together and is like, you two are going to work together. And immediately they butt heads because they're both super stubborn. But it's super fun because the dynamic between the two of them is so interesting, and it's like they constantly bicker and yell at each other and like sass each other, but eventually they learn to respect each other and like at times kind of like each other, but it's always very like razor's edge. It's like, do they really like each other, or are they just getting along like currently?
Right.
And it's Jean Smart, who is the comedian Deborah Vance, and then Hannah Einbinder, who is Ava Daniels, who's the writer. And like every time they're on screen together, it's amazing because you never know what's going to happen. And there's just like so many layers to all of these characters, and it could just completely blow up, or it could be utterly ridiculous, like the Wax Museum. It's like Deborah's character gets like eyelid surgery, and Ava has sent her it's like a voicemail, but she's like quitting, right? She's like quitting her job. She's in this like drug and alcohol fueled haze the night before, and she sends her like 2 voicemails that's like, I'm quitting, I can't work for you anymore, you're the worst person on earth. And then wakes up in the morning and is like, oh, I have to unsend those. And she goes with Deborah to get eyelid surgery, and her Face ID won't open her phone because she's all swollen from her surgery. So she goes to like the Madame Tussauds equivalent and like uses Deborah's wax figure to unlock her phone so she can delete those messages. But it's like all that kind of nonsense just all the time. Like, I don't know how they come up with these storylines, but if you've seen Broad City, at times it's like very Broad City, like Abby and Alana. But the supporting cast is really great too. The manager character, Jimmy, I think he's actually like a producer or writer on the show, and then he also stars in it. And he's great. And he has like the world's worst assistant who is also incredible. She's like so incompetent. Like, it's like if you hired the dumbest Gen Z person alive to like run your management firm and your office, that would be that character, Kayla. And she's great. She gets them into trouble all the time. And then Deborah's assistant, Marcus, is also goated. So just the whole cast is great. And they're doing a pop-up in Palm Springs that I can't go to with DJ Trixie Mattel next week. And I'm so horrified because that sounds like the most fun thing on planet Earth, and I can't go.
It is. They literally made it for you. They made that event for you. It was It was the first thing when you were texting me the other day, I Googled the show again, And that was the
Yeah.
first thing that popped up. And I immediately sent it to you. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the most Jordan Core thing of all time.
So miserable that I can't go to that. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. But yeah, it's super good. And it's won a bunch of awards, and it's very, like, diverse and incredible and inclusive and LGBTQ friendly. It's a great show.
I was vaguely familiar with the show because through the Emmys, I know I had been nominated for a bunch of awards, but I had never once like thought about watching it. It just cause I didn't know what the show was about or anything really. I didn't know what genre it was in. I didn't know, I didn't know if it was drama, comedy. I had no idea. No,
Yeah.
I didn't know. Nobody else in my circle has watched it, so I didn't know much about it. But I'll give it a go. I feel like I'd like it. I was talking to Corey about this earlier, which is like, because she convinced me to read a book, which I will
We're
get
gonna
into
talk
in a
about
little
it.
bit. Yeah. And I was like, and we were talking about this, and I was like, I was like, you have yet to steer me wrong on a TV show or book or anything. And I was like, and I'm not lying about this either, because if I didn't like something, I would not keep watching it or keep reading it. Like I'm not gonna keep, if it doesn't keep me entertained, I'm not gonna watch it. So,
Sure.
and it's the same thing with you. Anytime you've recommended me something, I usually enjoy it or like it. So
I feel like we get that. We're on the same
yeah,
wavelength with
yeah,
culture stuff usually. And Hannah Einbinder's been on Chaotic, so she's trustworthy.
yes, yes. Her mom was in the original cast of Saturday Night Live. So
You as our resident SNL enjoyer,
yes, exactly.
historian, SNL historian.
Yeah. Side note: did not watch the most recent episode with Mikey Madison yet. I've meant to, but
Is this the one where Morgan Wallen walked off
Morgan
stage?
Wallen. Yeah, screw him.
Whatever. Get lost.
So stupid. I didn't get that. Whatever. I felt bad for Mikey that she had to do the show with him. Anyway, so yes, I will watch because I think I'm in between the TV programs at the moment. Like since Severance season 2 ended, there's a little gap there.
Yep.
Shrinking. I started watching Shrinking too. So I've been I'm kind of am watching that as well. Phoebe Bridgers gets a shout out in the show.
Phoebe Bridgers episode, yeah, where he's riding his bike.
And so yeah, so I think I can make time, and I think I can sneak in the entire series by the time the new season starts. Because I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Hacks and season 2 of Zombie Show, whose name I just completely forgot. Oh, Last of Us.
There you go. I was like, zombie show. I'm like, huh? Right.
Last of Us. I think they come out at the same time. So I look forward to both of those
April
shows.
13th. Yeah, within like 3 days of each other.
There we go. Perfect. Love that.
That's the wall I always run into when I'm trying to pitch new shows to my mom, is that she's always watching 9 different things. So whenever I'm like, you would like this, she's like, oh, I don't have time for it. I'm like, oh, okay. Glad to know I'm important and valuable to you as your only child. Anyway. That's a joke.
That's
I
funny.
love my mom.
That's funny. Yeah, except when she again reads the same book I'm reading, enjoys it. You won't read it though, so
You guys are in book club though. I can't step on your book club. That's sacred.
I never said you weren't invited.
Didn't you start this episode with "I'm not invited"? I don't remember.
I did.
It's been 34 minutes. I don't remember. I
think you're right. I think I said yeah, and Jordan's not invited instead of Jordan's not in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand on it. You know what? You didn't invite me. I'm yelling again. I need to apologize to the people because I was yelling all last week because I was so sinus congested I couldn't hear anything. And I played it back on Spotify. I was like, ooh, wow, why is that loud? I'm gonna need to keep it real quiet this week.
No, you're fired up. I like that. That's cool. Mm-hmm. I do that all the time.
It's decaf coffee.
Somebody in the Speed Freaks comments a while back and this isn't wrong. I was like saying something. I don't remember what I was talking about, but I was saying something that I was like super passionate about. So I was like kind of raising my voice and yelling slightly. But that's what happens if I get passionate about something. That's the one time where I will raise my voice and I'll sound like I'm yelling, even though I'm really not. And and somebody commented, it was just, why is this guy yelling?
Hey, you let me know. Do I need to jump that guy for you?
Don't read comment sections if you care about your self sanity.
Well, nobody comments on our stuff, so we're safe. It's just us. We're in our own comment section.
Yeah, pretty much. That's so true. Okay, so I'm gonna watch Hacks. I promise.
Okay. Sell me on Severance.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. I am going to try and sell you on this, knowing that I don't believe it is the type of show that you like you were just talking about. So it's going to be a tough sell, but I think I can. I think I can get you there.
Okay.
I think I can get you there. All right. So first of all, Severance is season 2 just wrapped up, and is probably, in my opinion, the best show on TV right now. The best drama show on TV right now. And season 2 should clean up at the Emmys, hands down. But here's why this show is so good. It is, at its core, and I was listening to a podcast about Severance as well, but the reason why this show works is it is so well written.
Okay.
And and we talk about this all the time at Metal Friday too, because all of us watch Severance and we're big fans of it, and we talk about this, which is that like every seed that's planted pays off in some way, shape, or form, and everything is so intricately woven and well written that it just sucks you in. And the world that they built, sucks you in because there's still so much we don't know about what's going on in the world that Severance is placed in, that there's still something there that isn't right, but you're not sure quite what it is. And so that's part of what makes the show great. So you get that puzzle piece that's kind of being constructed every week. That's great. Then you get the characters, which are also great and likable, and you want to root for them. You're all invested in their stories, and more so than season 2 than I think season 1. Season 1 is very much a table setting kind of season in a way. It's getting you set in the world of what's going on. And then by the time you get to the final episode of season 1, that's when things really get going. And then by season 2, that's when you're really invested in the storylines and all these characters. So if you like,
just on the thing, the dynamic that I've heard and I understand is like a person is split into 2 people. What's the sitch with this?
Correct. So the name of the show is Severance.
Right.
That gets its name because of a procedure that was created by the evil overlord corporation Lumen Industries to separate people from their themselves and create an entirely new personality. Most of which, and the entire show is really based on the theme of the entire show is how do you, not only the evil corporation, and corporations are bad in a show that is airing on Apple, which I think is really funny. But it deals a lot with trauma and how people deal with that, and that is kind of the central point of this, which is a lot of these people are wanting to be severed to get away from their trauma of their everyday life, right? And so they want to basically get this procedure done that it when you walk through the doors of Lumen, you are entirely separated from your actual self, and you become basically a completely new individual with no memory of what's happening on the outside. So the only memories and experiences you have are what happens in between the walls of Lumen. And that's like the central mystery of the show in a way, is like, okay, well, what are these people up to? What are they doing? And why is Lumen so interested in this severance procedure and why is it so important to the corporation and what is this corporation's end goal, basically.
Sure. So, like, if you knew a person that worked in that office in real life, like, you wouldn't remember that you know that
Correct.
person. Interesting.
Correct.
Okay. So
Correct.
it reminds me of like halfway of like Us, like the Jordan Peele movie, where like you have like a
Right.
tethered.
Yeah.
And then it reminds me a little of, I don't know if you've seen Black Mirror, but there's an episode of Black Mirror
Yes.
called San Junipero.
Oh, great episode.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of that, where like your consciousness is like separate from your, like, you can live a separate life like in a computer in like the simulation as opposed to
Yeah.
like where you are currently
A little
right
bit.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of fun. All
And
right.
so it's very slow. It's a slow burn type of show too. So it's not something that is that you're gonna get like, you know, like Hacks or something where you're gonna watch an episode and go, oh damn, I'm super hooked on what's going on here, because it takes a while to really build up everything and build up the world.
All right.
But like once it sinks your teeth into it, it's hard to let go because you're so enthralled by everything that's going on, and it's so complicated and so like dense that like you have to pay attention. Like it is not a
All right.
show that you can put on the background and not pay attention to. But the thing that I thought was cool, because I remember watching it when it first came out, like a lot of people just are jumping on it now, but when it first came out, the thing that hooked me about it was like how different the show looks and how great the cinematography is and just how well made of a show it is. Because it is just a cool show to watch. It is it in a way, like outside of the story itself, which is great as it is. It's just a cool show to watch because of how well made it is. Ben Stiller is one of the executive producers and directors of the show too. So
Ben Stiller. All right.
yeah.
All right.
So I recommend Severance to pretty much
Told me a little
anybody.
bit on it.
So
Heard good
if
things.
and here's the great thing for the people who are newbies is you don't have to wait 3 years or 2 years or however long it was, three I think it was 3 years. 3 years in between seasons like everybody else did, because the first season ends on a cliffhanger.
All right.
And then
Does the
so
second
we
season
spent
end on a cliffhanger?
yes, even worse.
All right. So we got to wait like another 2 years for that one then. If you
Yes.
catch it now.
Yes. Yes.
Wait
Everybody
until season
was
3, and then you don't have to wait for anything.
yeah, I mean it's only expected to be a 4-season show, I think. I think they have 4
Okay.
seasons planned, so but yeah, anyway, all of us who watched season 2 for 9 were so mad. We're like, God damn it, you really gonna do that to us? It's that type of show.
Again?
We're like, you're invested, man. You know?
All right. I've heard really good things. I might need to check it out. It does sound, the premise sounds really interesting.
So there you go. That's us selling you to watch both shows, and both of which are going to are either won or going to win a bunch of Emmys. Speaking of TV shows, let's move on to one of our favorite people on the show. I feel like we bring her up on a consistent basis. That's Catherine
Every week.
Hahn.
It's going to need to go on the whiteboard here in a minute.
She's in a brand new show called The Studio, which is also on Apple. First 2 episodes are out as we are recording this right now. This is a show that got a lot of hype leading up to it. And people were like, oh, this is great. This is incredible. You got to watch it, etc., etc. It's going to be the next like big show on TV. And it's funny. And I like it. And the first 2 episodes were good. And the cast is great. The cameos are cool. But I think it got overhyped for me. And I think the reason why it was overhyped is because everybody who has written about it or reviewing it is in the industry. It's a very inside baseball show.
Sure. Yeah,
So
I can
I
see
think
that.
that-
Like,
yeah.
it really strikes more with people that have experience in the entertainment industry.
Yes.
For those of us on the outside looking in, we're like, all right, I mean, you have to take it at face value. You're like, okay, well, it's made by people in the industry about people in the industry, so it probably is what happens. But, you know, we have to take all that with a grain of salt, where it's like, if you're a writer, an actor, a producer, whatever it may be, you're like, oh yeah, that happens. That's funny to me personally. Just doesn't hit as hard.
So yeah, I found the first 2 episodes to be pretty funny. And the cool thing about the show so far is like I really like how I know you haven't watched the second episode yet, which is the most the way I describe this show is like it's like The Bear, but it takes place at a movie studio.
It is.
Because
It's very much like The Bear.
everything moves so quickly, and it's like kind of chaotic in a way, and there's a lot going on. And the second episode more so than the first episode.
Oh God, the first episode gave me anxiety. I'm like,
Yeah,
ugh.
second episode way worse.
Worse. Okay, great,
Yes,
awesome.
way worse.
I did enjoy that they put Catherine Hahn on screen for the first time, and she dropped approximately 6 f-bombs in under a
Yes.
minute. You're like,
Yes.
wow, that's where we're going with this. Okay, trying
She
to make a
did
very
that
serious project film about Kool-Aid.
exactly. My favorite part of that is she did an interview, I think with the mythical kitchen interview, and she was like, I had to ask my kids about what this.
Yeah.
She dropped an on God and
On God, yeah. She's like, I had to ask them what it meant. I don't know. That was great, by the way. If you are into the mini series Last Meals on YouTube, she does a great Last Meals, which I think they also just did one with Trixie.
yes, yeah,
Our brand,
our brand.
right?
Yeah, so I like the studio. I will watch it. It's entertaining enough. Everybody's good in it. The cameos is probably the best part. Like Martin Scorsese was the best part of the first episode, outside of
Yeah, we
Catherine
just
Hahn.
plop Martin Scorsese in there, and then we spent the whole episode building up, the former head producer, like Patty, and we're like, who's Patty? Who's Patty gonna be? And Seth Rogen goes to Patty's house and swings open the door. Catherine O'Hara. You're like, yeah, it's that kind of show. All right, got the big guns. All right.
Yep. Yep. Anytime you put Catherine Hahn and Catherine O'Hara on the same show,
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness.
we're in for a good show. So yeah. So I'd probably so far like out of 10, I'd probably give it like 7.5 out of 10 so far. Like
All right.
it's entertaining, but it's not like like elite for me.
Sure. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I give it like a 7 for right now. I'm only one episode in though, so we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see how that changes, how that evolves.
All right, so there's the studio. Watch that on Apple TV Plus if you were so inclined. All right, couple more things to get to. We've been teasing it all show, so we're gonna hang on a second. I gotta rearrange some stuff back here. Gotta make sure Lucy's safe. So, this is the I am easily influenced, as we've kind of talked about already on this show, which is like if people tell me that something is good, I was like, I enjoy trying these things out at least, and trying, at least taking a dollop of whatever that thing may be and seeing if I like it. Like I'm not like instead of like staying in my lane and enjoying one thing and poo-pooing everything else, which is a boring way to live. Don't live that way.
Boring.
So I try new
so
things.
boring. Life is about trying new things. Dang it.
Yes. And so Corey has been super into the Fourth Wing book series lately. Mm-hmm. And so she convinced me to read Fourth Wing. And so there are 3 books out right now. The most recent one came out like, I don't know, about a month and a half ago, and people were lining up at midnight for this thing. That's how excited they are. So I have started reading the first book in the Fourth Wing series. This is a big honking book. Can you see that? That's
Yeah, turn
fucking
that sideways. Yeah. All right. It's
That's
like
massive. It's like
some
we're
400 pages or something.
over 500 pages.
Oof. All right.
I am 70 pages in right now, so we're getting there. I actually bought this book as well. I usually don't buy books. I usually will go to the library and rent them. But I was like, hey, Target's got
Or your local library.
Target's got a buy 2 get 1 free sale going on. So I decided to take advantage of that. Got me the Lucy record, got me this, and then got me another book, which is coming at some point this week, which we'll get into. I think eventually. I'm not gonna tell you what it is
On the
yet.
next book club, I'm not invited to. Okay, sure.
Like,
Whatever.
That's so true. So I have another book that's coming as well that I'm gonna get into and read. So anyway, I'm all in on this, dude. I tell you what, like I was like, because I heard people talking about it, and because the book talk is big, and the dark romances are big, and the smut era is big, and obviously, as we previously talked about, the smut thing is not my thing. Not at all. It makes me so uncomfortable. I'm still working my way through Lights Out, which is the other book that Corey recommended.
Did you ever finish that one?
I'm working my way through it. I'm getting there. I'm almost like halfway through, but there hasn't been like that much. Like I'm like 5 hours into the book, maybe 6 hours, and there's been only like explicitly sexual parts of it have been maybe like 20 minutes of a 6 hour book, and that's it.
All right.
That's not that big of a percentage. And that I've heard that one is tame compared to others, but I tell you what, it's still like, I don't know why I'm holding this book up still. Like I don't know what's going on with that, but
you're selling it. It's your QVC campaign about buying a book.
Anyway, so I'm still working my way through that one. So anyway, but this is not that. This is like,
that has dragons in it.
It has dragons, and that's how I was sold on it. Corey was like, the best way to explain this book is it is Harry Potter and Game of Thrones like mixed together with a female antagonist. Or protagonist, sorry, female protagonist.
Like, all right, pick one.
Female protagonist, yes.
Yep.
And so,
Look, we
so
also
it's like...
support women's wrongs here on this show, but
we do support women's wrongs.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, Corey sold me on it. It's got dragons, it's got magic, it's got drama, and it has a badass female protagonist in it. So it like checks a lot of boxes. And so I'm digging it so far. I am. So,
all right.
So shout out Corey for the recommendation. If Harry Potter and Game of Thrones are your thing and you like that kind of thing, then there you go. Give it a read. So
I asked my mom if she read it, and she said yes with a dragon emoji. I said, "Would you recommend it to listeners of the podcast?" And she says, "Definitely." But that's all I got. I got literally 2 words about it, but a strong recommendation apparently. She cut through it though. I remember her breezing through those books, like all of them up to this point. And I know like my athletes were reading them, and tons of people were reading them, and just like going through it. I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah, I think Corey said that I'm pretty sure she read the entire trilogy in less than a month.
Oof.
Like
that's a lot.
I think she may have just finished the third one too, and that took her like a week. It's crazy.
I feel like the third one is. I've heard the third one is like not as good as the first 2.
Unsure, but I was told there's a cat in it named Broccoli.
All right. Named what?
Broccoli. The cat's name is Broccoli. Yeah.
Like the vegetable.
Yeah.
All right. I respect it. I respect it. I love a cat. We love a non-traditional pet name.
Magic. Yeah. There you go.
Oh my. Yep.
That should be the tagline. See, it says here, the tagline here is fly or die.
The category is dance
fly or
die. Yeah.
It should, so instead of fly or die, it should be cats, dragons, magic.
All right.
Not in that order. But yeah, I recommend it. Like I said, I'm 70 pages.
We have to put cats first, but you have to wait till the 3rd book to get the cat. That's how you hook them.
But yeah, so I'm only 70 pages in, so I'm getting there. But like I was telling Corey that like, it has me. I'm hooked. Like it, you know what I mean? Like it's not like an easy build, like a long build with it's boom. It dives right into the story, and it's great. And the main character's cool, and I'm excited to see and read how the story progresses. So, yeah, that's my.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry. I just got a pre-sale code for the ticket sale tomorrow.
Let's go manifesting.
Let's go.
See, we're already manifesting because you manifested that right at the beginning of the show. You were like, we may or may not get a code during the show.
We did, yeah. I don't know if that was before we were recording or not, but I was like, there is a very real chance that email comes through while we're recording. And it did.
Let's go. Massive W. Massive W. All right. What else do we got? We got one more thing. We have an update from you. Give us the update.
I do. I have show and tell. I don't know if I think I've shown them on the show before, but it's been a while. I am a plant mother now. And newly a mother to 3 instead of just 2. But I have updates on all 3 of my children for the audience. Um, we can start with this one. This is Gertrude. Gertrude is a basil, and she is very healthy. She's currently growing in a Starbucks cup. don't ask questions. Well, there's like a cup inside of a cup. So that way I can like water it, because when I was gone for a while, I just put some extra like water in the cup, so that way it gets in through the holes in the bottom. But she's looking very healthy, growing lots of new leaves and growing a lot taller. If you see this little like stalk right here, that's how tall she was when I first got her, and she's probably grown like a half an inch or an inch above that. So she's doing great. Then we have this is Dolores. Dolores lost some leaves very early on in this process. They did not survive the cold when I first got her, but she's growing a new leaf. I don't know if you can see it, but right here she's growing a new sprout and a new leaf. I think it's a new leaf. It's at least a new stalk. So she's doing good. The leaves are doing great. They're green. They're very tall, and they are like kind of growing up towards the light, which I think is a good sign. I don't know any of this. And then my newest acquisition is, I was told.
I didn't even know this. This is news to me.
Yeah, if you plant green onions, like the kind you get from the grocery store, if you like chuck them in water or you chuck them in soil or something, they grow like this after like a week. They're just growing back. They're growing like crazy. This is insane. So I'm gonna literally next week probably chop these and use these in a meal. But like, look at the roots on these. They're like growing out the bottom of the pot, and it's been like 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard you can just stick them in water and they'll just grow. So I put them in soil, and they're doing really well. And yeah, they're growing in cups from my local pizza place, because that's the only thing I have large enough to fit a 5-inch clear pot in. But here we are. So these are my little onions. I've named them Sebastian.
Mm-hmm. Seb?
So yeah, Sebastian.
Okay, time out. Let me guess. Is Sebastian named after Sebastian from La La Land?
No, he's named after Sebastian Vettel.
Oh, that was going to be my other guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Sebastian, Gertrude, and Dolores. Here she is. She's looking a little rough, honestly, like compared to the other 2, but I have faith in her. So we'll see. But I'm a plant parent.
Very adorable. I like that.
That's my update. Yeah. They're alive. I kind of had low expectations for myself on this project. I was like, I honestly might put these in soil and they'll die instantly. I don't know. I killed a succulent one time, which you're not supposed to be able to do. But I think it was just because I overwatered it in Arizona, and it was also like really hot on the windowsill, and then I was overwatering it, and then it died instantly. So
there you go. I like that. Doing great. Look at that. Much better than I would do, that's for sure.
I don't know. If I could do it, so can you. They're pretty foolproof.
I don't know what that says about us, but
no, not good things, probably. And that's why I don't have a cat. Next question.
I did have a one brain cell moment to tell you about. Should we do that? Should we wrap up the show with that? All right.
Yeah, we got time.
Okay, so I have my new French press. I guess I have had it for a while now. I got it for my birthday for my parents, and so I've been using the crap out of that. I use it almost every day at this point. Made my coffee today in the French press. And twice in the last week I've messed it up, both in different ways.
Oh no.
One of which was yesterday.
Okay.
All right. So are you familiar with the French press? Have you how the process works?
I am vaguely familiar. I'm looking up a picture right now. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm vaguely familiar. I don't have one myself. I have a $20 coffee maker.
So the French press process, as I've seen on the internets, is you boil the water and you pour the water over the ground coffee. So yesterday, one of the ways I've seen people explain how to do this is like you put like a half of the water or a little bit of the water over the coffee first and let it like I don't know what the hell you do. You release something or other. Don't really know the point of it. And you do that for like a hot minute or like 30 seconds or so, and then you pour the rest of the water. Well, yesterday I was stupid and I did the first part, and I was like, and then I immediately forgot to pour the rest of the water in there. So I go to pour
squeeze out half damp like coffee grounds.
Yeah, so I go to pour out the coffee into my mug, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Why isn't there enough? And I look slightly to my right, and I go, water's still in there, you dumbass. And I managed to salvage the coffee by pouring the rest of the water into my coffee cup. Mm-hmm. And it still tasted somewhat okay,
All right.
So that was stupid moment number 1. Stupid moment number 2 happened last week. And this was like after I had made the coffee and I was getting ready to pour the coffee, and I was like wiping up or like trying to like clean my countertops. And when I was cleaning the countertops, I knocked the entire thing of coffee over into my sink.
Oh boy. Well, at least it went in the sink.
It did. So I had to remake the coffee again. But so yeah, making coffee has not been my friend lately, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know if you have a viable side gig as a barista. You should probably stick to your day job.
I will stick to my day job.
Well, it makes you feel better. One time I thought my coffee maker was broken because it wasn't making any coffee, and I failed to notice that I had only put the water into the glass pot. I hadn't actually poured the water into the thing for it to make any coffee, so it was just getting super hot in there with a filter with nothing in it. I was like, oh, obviously. Cool.
Oops.
So neither of us have that career path, I think.
Yep, not in our future. Let's wrap up with some Letterboxd. I've been binging the Mission Impossible movies.
I saw that. Mm-hmm.
Because my internet went out last week, completely died for like 12 hours straight. Miserable experience. Not only was my internet out, but my phone was out. So I was in SOS mode on my phone for 12 straight hours. Truly miserable experience. And so I was like, okay, well, what do I do if I have no access to anything? Oh, that's why I have Blu-ray. So I popped in Mission Impossible Blu-ray, and so I've been watching the Mission Impossible movies in advance of the new one that comes out this summer. So I've been doing that. And then last night I watched the Timothée Chalamet movie.
Which one? the Bob Dylan one, or like
the Bob Dylan movie.
All right.
And it was fine. I'm not the biggest fan of Bob Dylan's music, so I was like, this is fine. It's watchable.
Yeah.
Timmy's good in it.
Yeah.
3 stars.
I watched 10 Things I Hate About You, which is an all-timer. I've seen it before, but I've never logged it. And we recently when we were in Seattle, we went to the high school where they filmed it in Tacoma.
Right.
And like you can see the house, like Stratford's house in downtown Tacoma, and like some of the other filming locations and stuff, just like driving around. So a bunch of us we're like fans of the movie. So we did a little like 10 Things I Hate About You staff driving tour around Tacoma. So that was cool. It's literally an operational school. So like you can't go during the week, like during school hours, you can't like go see it, but they'll let you like walk out towards the football field and like take pictures through the fence. You just have to like be cool with the security guard, but they don't let you like go on campus because there's actively people going to school there, which is, I feel like a fun tidbit because they didn't just like build that. It's like legit a school, and it used to be a castle and people go to high school there. What an experience.
Never seen the movie.
Oh, you would love it. If you could get through La La Land, you'll love this. It's Heath Ledger. It's young Heath Ledger.
I did not realize that Heath Ledger was in the movie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a 4.5, like almost 5-star for me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who else is in this movie? Why isn't it telling me? Oh hell. Oh, here we go. If I go to crew, that will tell me. Or no, cast. Jesus. Yeah, Heath Ledger,
Cast, yeah,
Julie.
it's
Oh, Joseph
young
Gordon-Levitt,
Joseph
David
Gordon-Levitt,
Krumholtz, Gabrielle Union's in the movie. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Allison Janney. Great cast. Great cast.
It is great cast, great soundtrack, like very 90s teen film. Awesome soundtrack.
Yeah. My favorite part about this is the review that you sent me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, do you have it or should I do it from memory?
Yeah, I got it pulled up. I have it pulled up.
Okay. You go, please, because they articulated this much better than I ever would.
Yeah. Okay, this is the review. 5 stars. Gays have Love Simon. Straight people have To All the Boys I Loved Before. Lesbians have Mamma Mia. And bisexuals have 10 Things I Hate About You.
Cinema. Perfect.
And that's how we wrap up this version of the show. 1 hour, 1 brain cell. Thanks for hanging out with us. Follow us at OHOBC Pod, wherever you get your social media extravaganzas. And hopefully we will manifest again on the internet, on the show, some Mayhem Ball tickets for my terrific co-host there to my right. Your left, right, whatever. I don't care. Anyway. Read Fourth Wing, everybody. Go read Fourth. Read.
Oh God. Yep.
Bye.